Damien, come to you first. Could you believe that 3 weeks ago we're looking ahead to the quarter-final draw, that we'd be sitting here and Frank Lampard would be managing Chelsea in the Champions League? I wonder, is it crazy, or is there method to the madness?
No, I think there's a touch of desperation about the decision. I'm sure it's a decision that would help placate the fans and maybe curry favour with the fans, stopgap to get them through to the end of the season. But they need to get a plan in order, and Chelsea are suffering from a number of issues on the pitch and off the pitch. On the pitch, when you look at the team, how they've managed to spend £600 million and still don't have a recognised number 9. Kai Havertz has been filling that role, and you look at it tonight, I know it looks like Raheem Sterling and Joe Felix, so they have those issues. But then off the pitch, they have their issues as well. And Roman Abramovich, in my opinion, has been the greatest owner in the Premier League's history. When you look at what Chelsea were, to what he turned them into and what he achieved. And they had a really stable setup there with Abramovich, Marina Granovskaya, Bruce Buck as chairman, and Petr Cech as director of football. And they had a real good setup there, and they were an engine, a driving force for Chelsea. And then all of a sudden, February 2022 happens with the issues in Ukraine, and that stops, and control of Chelsea's taken off him. So any forward planning that Chelsea might have had has stopped. Now, there was obviously the battle to buy the club. These guys have come in, and they've had to solve an awful lot of issues very, very quickly, and they spent an awful lot of money. And I just wonder, was there a clear, coherent plan? So Chelsea just need everything to settle down, get to the summer and get a clear, decisive plan.
Is that what Lampard's there to do? He's a familiar phrase, a popular character, just come in and
placate the fans, because the fans aren't happy with where they are in the league. Now, the issues I mentioned about Chelsea having on the pitch, they still shouldn't be 10th in the Premier League. They should still be an awful lot higher. So Graham Potter did not come in and do the job that he was asked to do. And it is a manager's job to gel the new signings. But I just think there's been so much upheaval off the pitch. There's not been a long-term coherent plan in place. And that's what the owners have to do. Whoever has the owner's ear, could be agents, and they're selling him players and telling him ideas. You get a mixed blueprint. So you just need to settle down, get to the summer and put a long 2, 3, 4, 5-year plan in place.
Look, Lampard is, you take it at face value, a short-term thing, Brian. I mean, they've spent 50 million quid on hiring and firing managers alone this season, never mind what Damien's talking about and all the signings of players. Just taking it short-term then, what can Lampard do? What can a manager do short-term in the circumstances, and how should you go about it, taking Chelsea, and still obviously in the Champions League and up the league table in the circumstances they're in?
Well, each of the managers they've had this year, he now on number 4. They've had to look at the players that have been at the club. I'm sure there was lots of knocks on the doors by fellas who weren't playing, and phone calls from the agents of the players who weren't playing. Each of the managers has tried to keep a group happy. I would say it was impossible to keep happy. The kind of scattergun approach in terms of signing the players, the number of players that were signed, they almost signed as many players as Notts Forest. And it was ridiculous, really, because they had a lot of good players there. They didn't need so many players. So I think what Lampard has got to do, Damien mentions, settle it down and try and get a few consistent results. This is the only competition that can save them for Europe, really, for next season. They've lost it out of the 2 cup competitions, 11th in the league at the moment, well down the table, unlikely to make top 4, need to do something extraordinary even to make Europa League or even the conference. So it's this competition they still have a chance in. It might be unlikely, but with the quality of player they have, it isn't unreasonable to think that they could beat Real Madrid over the 2 legs. And tonight's match is absolutely vital. And when we look at the team, we'll see what Frank Lampard might be trying to do by the fact that he's put Thiago into the team and gone to a back 5 and tried to be solid and try to get results from the game tonight. That's his job. The steady results, calm things down, try and get somewhat settled team, make up for the fact that they haven't got a regular centre forward, and get their best players playing on the pitch.